What's happening, guys? My name is Bobby O'Neill. I'm the pitching guy here with Headbanger Sports, and in today's episode, we're gonna be talking about the 3 main velocity killers of pitching. For this episode, I'm gonna be bringing in my assistant. Everything we're gonna be covering today has to do with your scapula or your scaps. So in order for us to best understand these problems, we have to first understand how we use our scaps when we throw. Your scapula, or more commonly known as your shoulder blades, are actually the bones that sit on the back of your shoulder that rotate around your rib cage while your shoulders are pulling back, which also causes your chest to open up. Basically, when you're thinking about your shoulder blades, every joint in your arm is attached to that thing back there, and they all work together as a unit. If you're not moving your shoulder blade correctly, it's gonna affect the way each of those other joints are moving when we're trying to throw a baseball. How we get your arm connected to your body is by using your shoulder blades to pinch together, which is also referred to as scap loading. This leads me to velocity killer number 1. Because so many people stress the importance of loading your scaps, a lot of people load them too early and wind up getting wrapped around their body. How they do that is by instantly moving their hand aggressively back here, which causes the elbow and the shoulder to essentially wrap behind their rib cage here, which gets the sensation of feeling strong in your back, but really your arm just winds up getting stuck as it moves up this way. This also causes your right shoulder blade to essentially protract around your rib cage this way as your right shoulder is retracting in this direction. That's a fancy way of saying your right shoulder blade is chasing your left shoulder blade like a game of cat and mouse. This causes a lot of disconnect, which leads to instability or leaking energy as we throw. Velocity killer number 2 is that we don't ever actually load your scaps. This is what I call the Muscleman pose. These are typically the guys that look super robotic with their arm path, and they're trying their best to be in that perfect spot when they throw, and they never actually feel loose in their chest. Ironically, these are the guys who actually want to load their scaps the most, and that's what they mainly focus on. So if you're watching this video and that's you, give this a shot. Instead of thinking about loading your scapula back, think about opening your chest up. A tense muscle or a tense rubber band isn't able to stretch out, so by loosening up your chest, you'll actually expand your pec muscles, which pulls your shoulder blades away from your chest, which will get you into that deep loaded chest position in a relaxed manner. Velocity killer number 3, and to be honest, this one's my personal favorite because it's actually a muscle man in denial. Here's what I mean. These guys are overly aggressive trying to get into their scap, and they get back there, but way too early, and they wind up bouncing out of it. And it looks something like this. Now that may be a great way to crack your back, but that's definitely not a way to throw the ball harder. Just remember that the goal of loading your scapula is just to get your arm attached to your body. So when we're thinking about using this as a source of power, just remember that we want to be in the right place at the right time when your lower half's trying to do the work. Visualize this in your head. My ankle initiates the first movement of rotation. This movement causes my knee to drive towards the ground, which causes my thigh to rotate in my hip socket. From this position, my pelvis is gonna begin to unwind against my front side, just like a hitter. And it's at this point that you wanna be both loaded into your scap and flipped with your arm, ready to square up to the target. When you're up in this position and your chest squares up, it should be really easy for your arm to lay back. That shape will look something like a Nike swoosh if you do it right. All right, that's all we got for today. Let me know if you guys have any questions in the comments.